For the barbell squats, set the bar somewhere around the chest height, place it on top of your upper traps and grab it with the grip as narrow as you comfortably can. If your grip is too wide, it will decrease your stability, which is a bad thing. Unrack it by pushing your hips forward, take a few steps back and a stance that feels natural for you. Usually that will be the stance that is slightly wider than the shoulders width. Some people will have their feet pointing forward, some feel better with their feet pointing outwards. I'd say for most people it would be ideal to have their feet slightly turned out. Drive your knees out to the side to keep them in that externally rotated position throughout the entire movement. Pull the bar down and squeeze your shoulders together. Always start by taking a deep breath into your gut and brace your core as someone is about to punch you in the stomach. That's gonna stabilize your spine like crazy. Hold the breath while you squat and secure the next one at the top of each rep. I suggest wearing a belt to protect your lower back and to have something for your core to brace against. As you descend directly down, push your knees towards the direction that your toes are pointing towards. Squat as deep as you comfortably can. The deeper you can go, the better. Make sure that the barbell is always moving in a straight line directly over the middle of your foot. If you have trouble squatting down directly, try placing something beneath your heels or use the weightlifting shoes for squats. Either way, don't let the heels come off the ground and climb onto your fingers as you're gonna lose your stability. So, the main muscles we want to work with squats are quads, although glutes, adductors and the spinal erectors are going to be involved as well. The most common squatting mistakes are shortening the range of motion by not going deep enough. I'd say the bare minimum that everyone should be able to do is at least down to the parallel, but you should definitely try to go deeper if you can. However, if going all the way down ass to the grass causes you to break your technique, maybe by rounding your lower back at the bottom or by letting your heels come off the ground, then it's okay to sacrifice a little bit of that range of motion in order to maintain good and safe squatting technique. Next mistake is letting the knees cave in. To fix that, just concentrate on driving your knees in the direction of your toes. Having a little bit of knee valgus when lifting heavy is nothing to be concerned about, but if you can fix it simply by thinking about it, then it's a good thing to be aware of it. Another mistake is not being properly balanced out, meaning that the bar is not traveling in the straight line about the middle of your foot. This is usually caused by having too big of a hinge, and it will drastically limit your ability to produce maximum force. So make sure that you're properly balanced. Maybe you're gonna have to put something below your heels to achieve that. It depends from person to person. Another common mistake is rounding the lower back at the bottom of the movement, or the so-called butt wink. Again, elevating your heels can help you have more upright posture, but you might be able to fix it also by having a bit wider stance. Bracing your core can also help you at keeping your back in the neutral position, but if none of these things help, you can just shorten the range of motion and squat to the lowest point where your back is still relatively straight. Now keep in mind that some people might experience too much pain from the bar. Usually you're gonna get used to it, but if not, feel free to use the pad to protect yourself. There's no need to torture yourself if you don't have to. Another variation of the barbell squat is the front squat. Positioning the bar in front of your body will create more upright posture in order to maintain balance. This will force your quads to work much harder. However, now your upper back might become the limiting factor because it can be tough to hold the weights in this position. That's why here we have to use a bit lighter weight, which is not a bad thing. Here you can either use the Olympic or the cross grip. Place the bar behind the shoulders where it's gonna make the contact with your neck. Although if that's choking you, you can drive your chest up a little bit so that the bar is resting on your delts and the upper chest. And for the Olympic grip, your elbows will be pointing straight ahead. Usually people tend to hold the bar with 2 fingers. For the cross grip, the arms will be crossed and placed on top of the bar. You can also use the Smith machine for the squats. It will allow you to target your quads a little better because because you can avoid some limitations of the gravity. Place your feet just a little bit forward. This will allow you to stay completely upright throughout the entire movement, and that's the key. So definitely avoid hinging your back with your hips. And just like with the regular squats, you're gonna go as deep as you can without compromising your technique. Your feet stay firmly on the ground all the time, so no elevating your heels and avoid rounding your back. Smith machine is a very safe and effective option because it allows you to stay in the upright position all the time and because it gives you a really good stability.